basically got the wireless access point sitting right on your lap.
It's literally sitting right on my lap. Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes.
All right, all right. How you guys doing?
All right.
Let's see what we got
Sweet.
over here. Good. So telling you about us and what we do. Let me see if I can get this thing started. This bar is in my way. Get you guys out of my way. Here's my, oh, there it goes. Excellent. So what I figured that I would, oh, sorry, wrong slide deck. What I figure I'd talk to you guys about today is what we do, right? What is it all about? And why should you care? Can anybody hear me okay? Hello? Because I
Yep.
can't see you guys.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
All
good,
good.
good.
Take it away.
So, what happens, right? You start a business, you get all excited, and this is a dream. You're going to go out, you're going to build this business. It's going to be great. It's all going to be champagne and celebration, right? And you're going to love it, and everybody's going to do it. You get started, you get your first client, everything is going great. And then reality sets in, right? You start doing the work, and then, you have to run around and do the invoicing and be the chief cook and bottle washer, and you're trying to get the whole thing done. And you can't seem to get your arms around it. And you end up doing all this hustle all the time, right? And why? Why does that happen? Why are you stuck in the hustle? Because what you didn't know when you got started is how to run a business. You knew what you were good at. You knew what you were an expert in, but you didn't know how to run a business, how to really do stuff. So people said, good things happen to those who hustle. So go hustle. Come on, you go hustle and everything is going to go great. And you're going to make it. It's going to be awesome, man. But here's the definition of hustle. Okay. To hustle is to force someone to move hurriedly, unceremoniously in a specified direction, to push, roughly, to jostle, to hurry, to bustle, to obtain by forceful action or persuasion, to force, to coerce, to persuade someone into doing or choosing or something, to sell aggressively, to obtain by illicit action, swindle, or cheat. So you can see why you want to stop hustling. You really do. You want to stop hustling or you end up this guy, like this guy. And you don't want to be this guy. You really don't. What you want to do is you want to build a machine. So what the heck do I mean by build a machine? Well, if you look up the definition of machine in the dictionary, it's a whole different animal. It's an apparatus using or applying mechanical power and having several parts, each with a definite function and together performing a particular task. And what we say is that when you build a machine, what you build is really a team, right? And then there's all these operating procedures and processes and things that you put in place. And when you have that team, what you then become is an entrepreneur instead of a hustler. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. But here at Start, Grow, Manage, what we say is that you're someone who builds and runs a business machine. And that's the game. The game is to build and run a business machine, but people don't usually build business machines. All right. So what does it mean? There's two types of work. If you look at all of the work that there is to do in your company, there's delivering and there's overhead, right? So delivering is the actual thing that got you into doing this in the first place. It's the thing that you love to do. It's the thing that you're passionate about. You're crazy about it. You have fun doing it. You enjoy it. And overhead is all the other stuff that you don't like to do. It's selling the project, it's doing the invoicing, it's, preparing the paperwork, writing the contracts, doing all that other stuff. And what you end up doing is you go out and you start delivering and you're having a great time and you're like, oh man, there's no money in the bank. I need to go invoice. And then you go back and you do overhead and then you do that and then you do that for a while. And then the clients start calling you and say, hey, you're not doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. You're like, oh yeah, let me go do that. And then you're like, oh man, this project's about to end in a month. I better go get some more clients. So you go get some more clients. Now you stop paying attention to those. You guys get the picture, right? I don't have to tell you any more of that. We call that the entrepreneurial spin cycle. And you end up in the spin cycle and you're spinning and you're spinning and you're spinning and you're spinning and you're spinning. And you can't seem to get out. And 1 year goes by and 2 years go by. Next thing you know, you're in business for 5 years or 6 years. And this is all that's happening is you're in the delivering overhead spin cycle. And you can't seem to get out. And the reason you can't get out is because you haven't built the machine. See, when you build the machine and you start to put the processes in place, it breaks up from that just delivering an overhead. Now you start to build the machine, you start to delegate, you start to put your team together. And the bigger the machine gets, the smaller the overhead gets. And the more you can start thinking about the future and where you're going and what you're creating. And then your processes start to automate. And then all of a sudden, it all starts moving in the direction that it needs to be going. And if you can split your time this way so that you're spending time building the machine and time thinking about the future and really growing your teams and having them take over and having them run the machine, you end up in a place where you can actually walk away from the business and it continues to make money for you. Because that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why you got in business, is so you can have some freedom, so that you could actually live life. But right now, you live for the business. We want that to stop. What we're all about is getting you to work less hours and make more money. But to do that, you have to have a machine that can deliver. You have to have a process. So what are the things that you need for a machine? Well, you need a defined target customer. The thing that burns me is every time I hear, well, I work with any business owner that, no, you don't. You don't work with any business owner that. You need a defined target customer. Who do you work with? And then you need the problem that you solve for that customer. And if you don't have those two things, you're in trouble, because you're destined to be in the spin cycle. And then you need your program for solving that problem. And then you need a repeatable sales and marketing process. And finally, what you need is repeatable delivery. And if you have these 5 things, if you listen to Kayla's presentation, when she took you through those 5 stages, right, you really could see that they've thought about the process and they take you through a journey, right? And in that journey, you get yourself sorted out. So when you have that defined target customer, you have the problem you solve for that customer, you have the program that you have for solving that problem, you're in business, right? But to do this, you need to do some pre-work. So what's the pre-work that you need to do, right? These are the things that you need to build the machine. To build the machine, you need vision. You need to know where you're going. What's that thing out there in the future that's really gonna pull you? What is it you want to create? Then you need to know why, how, and what you're doing. That's your mission. So if this were, we use the analogy of a trip, right? The vision is the destination, is where you're going. Well, I want to go to California. I'm in New York. I want to go to California. Well, that's the vision. But what's the mission? The mission is the actual car that's going to take you there, right? But just having the destination in the car is insufficient. You need the driver, and the driver is really those values. That's who the organization is. It's how you select your team. It's how you build. And then once you have that, and now you know how you're hiring and you know what you're doing, the next piece is really the strategy. That's your GPS. That's what's going to tell you, this is the turn left here, turn right there. And now that you have all of this, okay, now you have your destination, you know where you're going, you have your car, you have the driver, and you have the GPS. The last thing that you need is a plan. Well, what hotel am I going to stay in on the way? What am I going to eat? Where am I going to stop to go to the bathroom? And that's the 5 things that you need to build the machine. And then you need to get stuff done. So what do you need to get stuff done? Well, there are three things that you need to get stuff done. You need accountability. And when you're a solo or you're a small business, there's nobody to hold you accountable. So you end up all over the place. And you end up not doing the things that actually help your business. You end up hurting your business more than helping it. You need a team. And if it's not internal, then you need peers. But you need a team. You cannot do this by yourself because you can't read the label on the bottle from inside the bottle, and you're inside the bottle. So you need perspective from the outside, and you need tools. Because the thing that keeps happening until Kayla came up with that process that she showed you, and that was a really good process. I really like that slide. Until she came up with that process, it was reinventing the wheel over and over again every time that they had to do one of these. But now they don't have to reinvent the wheel anymore because they know exactly in the journey where you are and if you have all the things that you need. And that's, now that you've heard what all the parts are,
You're mute.
folks do, right? What we help our folks do is have that team, right? We help you get shit done. So we have the team, we have the tools to help you accomplish that. And we provide the accountability. And that's what we do here at Red Sapiens. And questions and all that stuff, that's what I'll take now.
Love it. That was a great presentation. Thank you, Joe. You've done this
You're
a couple times. You've done this a couple times before, I see.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think I've done it once before.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I keep hearing little things ringing in my ear. We got 10 minutes left. Q&A. Who's got what for who? Go ahead, Oscar.
Quick question, Joe. How has COVID affected the way you guys plan out the gyms? Do you have to space it out differently now, or?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, who you're asking, how crazy they're going to be with COVID and other parameters. 6 feet apart and things like that. We have created gyms with certain sections and stations for individual circuits and workouts. So that's where the functional fitness comes into play a lot, because they can do a lot in a very small space with certain racks and accessories, as opposed to selectorized machines or your car space. But yeah, I mean, it definitely has an impact, obviously, on our operations. As we're looking more now in the future, in 2022 and beyond, we're starting to see different markets and different verticals react differently, right? So corporate, we still don't know what's going on with it. It's going to be hybrid. Is it going to be not? For now, a lot of people, what they're doing is putting partitions in between their cardio sections to create some kind of station. Some very simplistic stuff that they can just remove in the future. Obviously, that we're hoping COVID goes away or dissipates for a while. So I think the worst of it hopefully is behind us. But yeah, definitely a shock to all the facilities that featured us in the past. So great question.
Question.
Yeah.
Kayla, in your operation, is all of your lending done on debt, or do any of your lenders lend for equity? Do they take equity, or is it all debt?
We are generally debt-based. So I have a new project that is a debt to equity conversion that I'm going to be working on. So I'm going to add some things on we tend to like to stay in the debt areas, and you'd be surprised. There's a lot of projects that people want equity for, and especially if they require any type of equipment from a computer up to a D12 dozer, you can break that out, finance it on its own, and let the cash be the cash and push that to equity. So we are getting some deals in that we've got the equity taken care of, and then we're taking care of a debt piece on there.
We'll talk again. I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
Joe C., your company nationwide?
So we're on the East Coast, offices on the East Coast from here to Florida and Alabama, but we can basically do a job almost anywhere in the country, but sometimes with our agreements with the manufacturers, we need cross-territorial approvals before we do it. So for instance, if you have a developer in New York City, they want to do something in Wyoming, we just need the okay, and then we could do that job in Wyoming, but we have to notify the powers that be. So we do have the capabilities and partners across the country. We actually do a bunch of jobs in Texas too.
What's up, Jill? Go ahead.
Kayla, does someone come to you when they can't do conventional financing, let's say through a bank, and they've gotten turned down and they go, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, how do they know when they need to use you?
So it's about 50-50. We actually have banks that send people to us, which is crazy, right? But we do have about 50% of our people who have been to the bank and the bank just says no for one reason or another. And then we have about 50% who just don't want to go through a bank, whether it's for credit reasons or they just, that's not their deal. If they're banking with Wells Fargo or US Bank, they want the personal relationship. And a lot of them don't even go to the bank first. They just come to us first because they want to be able to call somebody and get a human that actually knows what's going on. So I would say it's very 50-50. We are 98% referral based. So we're not out there fishing and cold calling. It's somebody has a need and we get referred to them. So I would say
here in
it's 50-50.
Texas, because people like local, would good contacts for you be bankers that I know that aren't able to do business, do a particular type of loan with their clients, and then you would be a good contact for them?
Yes, absolutely. Because they get to keep their deposits at their bank. We're not taking the banking relationship away. We are complementary to it. We're not impeding on anything. It's really a great partnership. So I would love commercial bankers.
I have a big commercial guy that in one of my groups. So I will make that introduction.
Oh, I'd love it. Thank you so much.
Joe.
Kayla, Darren just texted me. He says, can he call you today? So we're good.
Yes, I will be able to do that for a call. Yes, just give him my cell number.
Got it.
And
Love
then,
when shit happens.
and then Joe, are your clients like startup or where in their process do they go, oh my God, I need Joe Rojas?
Well, mostly our clients have been around for a bit. We can work with startups. We have two different programs. We have a program that's $300 a month and is for solopreneurs. And you come in and you become part of a group. It's a peer group. And we really help you drive business, and kind of get your plan together. You create a 15-year plan, 5-year plan, 1-year plan. And then we have companies that are stuck and want to hit their next million. And that program is $2,500 a month. And we're usually with them for 12 to 18 months. And what we do with them is do one-on-one coaching and take them through the same process. We help them build a team internally. Usually when a company comes to us, like I'm at this trade show now and I met a managed service provider yesterday. There are 6 people and they're like, we absolutely need you. We got to have you, right? Because they're getting ready to scale, but they've been stuck. They haven't been able to hire effectively. So we once you get those core values, vision, mission defined, then you can start hiring effectively and building your team. So what we'll help them do is build that leadership team and have that breakthrough. So perfect example is we started working with an IT company, which is we focus a lot on IT companies because I came from that space, but I've got architects and I'm doing contractors now, general contractors. General contractors usually after they hit their first million, great for us because then we can help them hit their next million, their next million, their next million. And so this particular IT company came to us in 2018. They were just at $1 million. They were stuck. They've been stuck there for 3 or 4 years. Today, they're 21 people and almost $3 million. And we got them pretty unstuck and helped them build a team. But my favorite part is that the guy took 3-week vacation this year to Punta Cana. And he got 0 phone calls from his clients. And that's really the whole name of the game for me. That's what it's up, what I enjoy about what I do.
And